A menu and a DJ set it has to be something that tells a story for me. Making music, you have to entertain. You have to make a story on what you're playing. You cannot like play random tracks and just put out whatever. It's like same with food. You cannot put random ingredients and just because it's a nice ingredient, like throw caviar and throw truffle and whatever, and it's amazing. No, you have to make sense on what you're doing and have a journey and have an order. Even for food, you cannot. When it's well done, I think it's like same thing. So yeah, that's why I think we're connected in a way. And like many DJs have friends chef and chefs listen to DJs.
Have you decided what you're gonna get?
Oh yeah, definitely we're gonna get one of each.
One of each. Got it.
Hello, Sergio. Welcome to another episode of One of Each. My name is Nidal Baraque, and this is a podcast about food, but also about life and many other things. I take this space maybe as an excuse to invite friends to talk about the shared love of food. And as I've mentioned before, usually when we talk about or when we think about a podcast about food, we think, of course, I'm going to have chefs and restaurant owners here. But today I have a musician, a DJ, producer, record label partner, everything. So Sergio Muñoz, it's a pleasure to have you here. Many people might know you by your artistic name, might I call, which is Furcoat.
Yeah.
So Sergio, again, thanks a lot for coming to our podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
No, and I know you live in Barcelona. We're gonna talk about that later. You're here visiting in Miami for a few days, so thanks a lot for taking the time to be here. And as I mentioned before, you are a musician. We're both Venezuelan.
Yep.
We're doing this in English because, again, we have a broader audience both on your work and my work, and we're doing this in English. But by no means we are like leaving behind our Latin or Venezuelan heritage. But yeah, again, welcome, and we're talking of many things before we started recording, and you mentioned something about a tattoo you have on, like, from of your grandfather or in honor of your grandfather. Tell me about it.
Yeah, it's an octopus. It's he's not anymore with us, my grandpa, but I think he was one of my biggest influence on going out to eat, because I have like really good memories of that. And as you know, in Venezuela, we're all used to go every weekend with the family and meet in restaurants, and it's like a celebration almost. So at least that was in the 90s. Like, yes. You went out, like, meet with the family, go to a nice restaurant, and that was probably my childhood experience. And since I was a kid, like, I remember he loved to eat octopus, and that's like my connection with him. And since I was a kid, I was also, like, I can say, like, pretty daring to try things. So since I was a kid, I like different things, like octopus. Like, a kid wouldn't like octopus since its early age, but for me it was like I we ate a lot in the, like, on the weekends. Like, I have like really good memories, and I think that is in my core. When I go out, I think I experience that emotion of family gathering, nice time. So it's a mix of enjoying nice food plus enjoying nice company, you know?
And this is how many of us started our love for food at home with the family. And was he from like an immigrant from any specific region or country?
Yeah, all my family was born and raised in Chile.
Okay.
And I'm the only one born in Venezuela. So my granddad was an immigrant after, like, the years of dictatorship and all that stuff in Chile. So he went to Venezuela looking for opportunities of business, and he had some family from, I think, my grandma, and he started like business there, and then my dad went there, and then my mom went there, and I was born. But I'm the only child of my mom and my dad. My mom I have other 4 siblings.
Okay.
But so one of my older sister also lives in Venezuela, so we are like, they have like Venezuelan heritage and mixture and way of living, but I'm the only Venezuelan, actually.
And it makes sense that he loves octopus, maybe, and other seafood, given Chile has amazing seafood.
Yeah.
Have you been to Chile?
I've been to Chile many times with my family since I was a kid, because some of my brothers, my siblings live there. So I usually went with my mom. I have also aunts and stuff. And yeah, it was also a great experience, because also family was gathered by these meetings of the weekends, doing like asados and going eating out, and it was like the same experience. Also, like, we share a lot of times surrounded around a table, and this, like, I have super good memories of family getting together, from cousins to other people, like, and that we connected in these big dinners that turn into long family stories and laughing. Exactly.
Amazing. So at what age, because you are now into music, that's what you do.
Yeah.
How did you turn that? Because not everybody, but most people start enjoying music as a hobby, maybe like food. And at what point you thought, okay, I not only love music, but I want to be a musician, I want to work on music, I want music to be my life.
Of course. So, well, my dad used to be a DJ for fun, but since I was a kid, I have memories of them listening to music in the living room, and like I think my base of music is like R&B, soul, disco, all this kind of diverse music, but both of my parents are really like dance oriented, like on that kind of music. So I really like saw that on my family. We're like a really party family, always like dancing and stuff. And since I started growing up, like at the age of 14 or something like that, I asked my dad like about his records, because he got some records from Chile at my grandma's house. So we went like getting the records, and he had like an old mixer, and we fixed one turntable, and we started like playing with that. And I started like for hobby, mixing in my house with a CD and a turntable. And then all my friends at the time were listening to this mixed radio shows that in the Friday nights in Venezuela you hear like all these DJs like DJ Marvin, Mr. Freeze, I don't know, so many names. And we always like recorded these sets, and it was the eras of the minitecas. So we started like mixing for fun with friends on the same building. And then I started like our own miniteca and started like playing for friends. My dad gifted me a small, like a Denon, it's called. It was in that time like the mixing gear for the time. So started miniteca with some other friends, like playing. That was like when I was 14. Then I stopped that, and like around 17, in ending like school and starting like university, some friends, we started like listening some mix CDs from bigger DJs like Carl Cox, and I think we got introduced into this by like what was happening at the time, like trance, Tiesto.
And I remember amazing DJs went to Caracas those years.
Yeah, it was good years. So then we started like on regular basis. Well, we did like underage. We had some fake IDs and started like at a big party called Ministry of Sound there. It was in the Santa Maria University. That was like for us like turning point in our life. Oh, this is amazing, whatever. So then we started like going frequently to boogie nights.
I remember.
Yeah,
with Leo,
good friend Leo.
Yes.
He was one of the first that gave me an opportunity as like a more pro DJ. and I record like a set for him. Then I started like mixing in boogie nights. I met another friend that then I started to production.
So maybe I danced to some of your music before
sure.
even I knew you, no?
For sure, because I know David Rondon
Yeah.
from there too. Like that era, we played at the Humboldt, we played at the Cubo Negro.
Check.
All those places, yeah. The Flowers, amazing places at the time. And that became into like, there was like a time in my university and stuff that I want to do it more professionally. I knew how to produce, how to play in the local system, like or the DJs that were playing locally. And then like I decided like, okay, I'm gonna do this like more professionally. And I had like a couple of alias before Fur Coat, like started as Sergio. Then I had like a solo project as Delete. That gave me the opportunity with another bigger DJ that's also like a big influence, big friend right now. That's also like fully in the culinary world, Top Fire. He's one of the members of Deep Dish. So he was one of my first supporters. And that like gave me my first O1 visa. And like from there I went like really, okay, this is what I'm going to do for life.
Nice. And fast forward, I'm not gonna say how many years because people will start like doing the math. Yeah, but now you're living in Barcelona, and I guess you travel a lot.
Yeah.
You're every time I see you on Instagram, you're playing somewhere else. But how's it life in Barcelona? Not only from a musician point of view, but Barcelona is one of my favorite cities in the world to eat. How have you experienced what has been happening to Barcelona, which I think it got into a peak maybe now, I mean, with all the COVID and the economics and politics, it's a little bit probably, I don't know, not as good as it used to be. But I was there recently and I still had amazing meals. So I think Barcelona, I mean, it's no matter the situation of the city, it's a great place to eat. How is it for you to live there as a local, maybe? Because how many years have you been there now?
I've been 12 years now.
12 years. So basically you're local. How's the local food scene now? Any favorite places? Where do you go
For
often?
sure. Yeah, man. It's like, this has been like, for me, it actually has gone for better. Like, of course, we have one of the pioneers of modern cuisine, Albert Adrià, and all the Adrià group of his brother.
And the Rocas 45 minutes
Rocas,
away.
of course. And then now we have Disfrutar and all those things.
Yes.
But before, like, that was like one group of things that were happening at Parallel. And like, to have a more diverse types of food, like I see now, like, even before COVID and after COVID, I've seen like there's a lot of people from abroad, especially from like expats from UK and stuff, like investing in kind of nice coffee shops. Like there's this amazing coffee shop, you probably know it, Nomad.
Yeah.
There's some coffee roasters, like that's pretty solid job. Before, like when I arrived, you didn't have where to have a nice coffee. Like you have like, or really high end, and the normal cuisine was okay. Like there wasn't a nice burger spot. There was like only one place called Kiosco.
Kiosco, I was gonna say.
And like if you come from America or you come from Latin, it's like it's not a burger I'm craving, you know.
Yeah.
So now we have since before COVID and after COVID, like, so many options, so many people like investing in interesting places. I think I saw you on a picture with my friend Hernan. You went to Parking Pizza.
Yes.
Those pizzas are amazing. That you didn't have that options before. So for me, it's a city that you have all the options. It's really cheap compared to
anything compared to Miami these days is like so cheap.
Exactly. But yeah, like, instead, like even in Europe, it's like for being like kind of a main city. It's pretty affordable to have like a proper meal for, and like now you see a little bit of the spikes on the prices because of inflation and stuff. But before that, it's like, man, for 40 euros, you can, two people can eat pizzas, beers, where like a proper, or, you know, or burgers, or even like with 50 euros, two people eat like well, you know?
Yeah, I was recently in Disfrutar,
Exactly.
which I don't know if it has 2 stars or 3 stars.
I think it has the 3, yeah.
Yeah, I think they got the 3rd star. was an amazing meal, unbelievable. They are in the top 5 in the world's 50 best. Some people say that they're gonna be the number 1.
Yeah.
And again, the experience was insane.
Yeah.
And price wise, yeah, it's an expensive meal. There's so much work that goes behind those menus. But if you compare it to what you get for the same price, like that's like going to a nice steakhouse here in Miami.
Here, exactly.
So yeah, it's still, even though if it's expensive, it's still, compared to same experience in other cities, it's
For a 3-star, it's
yeah,
like
exactly.
still cheap. And yeah, same. I went to this resort before it was with the stars.
Yeah.
When they recently opened, I think the menu was like 100 something.
Yeah, I remember.
And it's insane. Like the prices are, and recently, like for an anniversary, or I think it was like my wife's birthday, we went to Compartir.
Which is their casual
their casual
restaurant, no?
one that it usually started like in Figueras, I think it is, or Costa Brava, and now they have the one in Barcelona, and amazing level, and there's so much options right now. Like it's not only like I got to say, like one of my favorite restaurants to go casually is Chemay. You know them?
Haven't been. I heard of it, but I haven't been.
It's these Venetian brothers that do Venetian Italian food.
Nice.
And it's also like for the quality and everything, like, and that's great.
Yeah, and there's 2 guys. I think they are from Gallegos, Batea, and the other one I don't
Batea,
remember. They have 2 restaurants. One of them is Batea, also.
It recently
also
opened
amazing.
that one.
Yes, yeah, amazing. But now, okay, you live in Barcelona. You travel a lot. How many weeks a year are you on the road?
Probably all weekends. Like,
All weekends.
Yeah. Like some times, like I travel 2-3 times in a month, but there are other like are more intense. Like last year, I went out a lot, and sometimes when I'm doing tours like this, I stay like 2 weekends here. With the last year with my wife, I had the opportunity to go to Shanghai for the first time.
Oh, wow.
We went also to Singapore, India. So,
Of course, if you're touring in Asia, maybe you stay there for a long time.
you do a full tour.
Okay, nice. And when you tour, like, I guess depending on the tour, you go to new cities, but also there are cities, I don't know, like Miami or New York or London that maybe you go more often.
Yeah.
Do you have any like places that you love that each time you're touring, like, oh, I wish I go to Munich so I can check out this restaurant
For
that I
sure.
love? What are your favorite places from the cities that you
Usually
like,
go,
often? Yeah.
Man, it's like it happens to me in all the cities. Like the first thing I do is like where I'm gonna eat. Like it's one of my goals.
I get your messages once in a while, like a text, like, hey, I'm going
Javier,
to...
with Ali, like the fire. We have like Google Maps, and we share it, and we add always like new stops, or like we have a Barcelona map, New York map, and we start like doing a lot of things. But that's a tough question. Like, what do I like, man? Because in the States, I've eaten amazing food. Like one of my favorite places I've gone is Cotoña in San Francisco. I love it there. New York is always a fun city, like to experience new stuff. Like I just came from there, and I went to an omakase that I just searched around, and it was insane.
Okay.
Like, because I started searching, like I saw this in TikTok, like omakase under $100.
Okay.
And I got an insane omakase with uni, toro.
So hold on 1 second. So you search for a restaurant on TikTok, like omakase restaurant on TikTok, and there's content, and maybe some people are gonna like, okay, I'm leaving this podcast right now. I'm not listening to this guy anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's great, and I'm
I think you have
surprised that you have like,
to adapt.
Yeah, absolutely. But I wouldn't look for an omakase in New York.
Yeah.
Maybe I would look for like a, I don't know, like more
Belly
casual.
or Well, I used to like my app for before was Foursquare. When it was like you could get like Foursquare with a good punctuation. You can search something that was aside from like we're talking like if I go to Michelin stars, of course you know the stuff. Like one of my favorites, the Jane in Belgium. He's a good friend. He's a DJ also. That's also like a good restaurant that I always crave to go, but. I think these more known things that are in guides and stuff, but when you want to go like outside of the usual map or new findings or things that can be like a nice bite for a nice price or stuff like that. Before I use that app, now I know there's an app that's called Belly, but I'm not too used to that. And Instagram is also like, I don't know. I kind of judge a book by the cover sometimes with restaurants, because a nice photo and a nice plate probably can invite you to eat, you know. So for me that's important. Like if the page of another user or the same Instagram of the restaurant is nice, it invites you to it, and most of the time you don't get it wrong.
Yeah,
but
I do. I still go on restaurant websites.
Yeah,
and one thing that I think is like if they took the time and they put the money and the effort in building a nice website, probably they did the same or even better on the kitchen, on the dining room, with everything.
Exactly, like image sales, and it's part of the marketing nowadays. And like I'm not of the TikTok generation, but at the same time I have to be on platforms because of my job on other social media, and in between like researching a market and everything, you get into this stuff. Like you start seeing, I don't know, you stop seeing a video of food, and that's, I've seen there's a famous guy, Infatuation or Devour Power or stuff like that you see them in TikTok, and okay, like cool, this looks nice, and then you go to this and you see another person goes, or that leads you to Instagram. So I use all the tools visually that invite me to it. So
if you go to a city for the first time, you definitely go, to social, like either TikTok or Instagram,
Google, Google for probably like a top search of restaurants, also like kind of blogs, try to go like Eater or...
And do you crave any specific type of food when you are on the road? Like something, I don't know how many days in advance you arrive, or let's say you arrive the same day. What type of food do you eat before going to a gig? Or
I try to eat light before a gig because it's like intense, especially like depending on the city. But there's two options. Like sometimes there's promoters that already know, because like we're talking a little bit before we started the interview. Like I think DJ's music and stuff, it's like a bit interlinked with food. So they know, like they're like good promoters know that you like to eat like in nice places and stuff. So they already thought that in advance, and you don't even have to think.
They book you.
Yeah, they book like a restaurant.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, I go and he knows where he's gonna take me, and you eat amazing. Like that you're from well, you have Lebanese family.
Yeah.
I went to Lebanon and Sharif.
Oh, amazing!
And that I went to that because of a promoter. So that's like, okay, that's my spot to go in Lebanon. It's like, it's amazing. So
if you go back to Lebanon, let me know. I have a very long list. Like Sharif is amazing. But the like street food there is insane.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing. Like either I trust locals or the promoters if they know like that, or I try to do the dinner before the gig with them, or if there's some other place that you get like, okay, you come here and you do it on your own.
Okay.
And that's cool, especially in America. I'm good like managing myself, so I try to explore stuff like that. Or same in Shanghai. In Shanghai, we did like research, and it was really difficult because Google and all that is like blocked.
Yeah.
For payments, you need Alipay. It's like, man, it's like other world to manage there. And even like to drink a coffee, I had to use Google Translator because they only spoke Chinese. Like,
wow.
So it was like, but we found amazing places, like some donuts places, some like I tried one of the most insane coffees there.
Oh, really?
Like combinations, like now it's known, but like coffee's tonic, like those kind of stuff, and some other mixes. Like there was like a coffee place that was like a coffee bar, so it had like cocktails, non-alcoholic, but insane. Like
nice. And do you have like any, I don't know, anecdote or crazy experience, like a dinner before a gig that, I don't know, you ended up with the whole restaurant in the gig, or missed the gig because of a bad meal, or...
Oh yeah, no, don't have any, thank God. Like I've been alive after the foods, but like different experience. I've seen like before the gig, I went to these good friends. They took me to the Jane. That is the one in now it has Michelin star.
Yeah.
Like super nice, many courses. I was pretty heavy after, but yeah, it's insane. Like really good food. Also, like we have a friend in common, Sergio.
Yeah, Sergio Gomez.
Sergio Gomez. We were like randomly. I was in Chicago and I was at a party, and he writes me on Instagram like, "Man, are you in Chicago?" Yeah. Yeah, I had 2 tickets for Alinea, and I just came alone. The one that was coming with me is not here. Want to come? For sure. So it was like one of the best meals before a gig, you know?
Oh, nice.
So yeah, you have like being on the road. It's like I don't go with expectations because I get surprises out of nowhere. Either if it's with friends, local friends, new friends that you make, the promoter, or just investigating, you know.
And do you have like a food-related ritual before, after the gigs, or like the morning after? If you're tired, you eat a certain type of breakfast.
I have my ritual is eat as much places as you can
Okay.
during your stay.
Okay,
I'd say like I went to New York, I landed. It's let's say it's commercial what I did, but I went to Katsunori, like I went for a hand roll. Then I went to Morriston for ice cream.
Nice.
And then I went for a drink, like for a highball, Japanese highball with a friend. Next day, like kind of where we went. I went for lunch on New York. I don't recall where I went. And then I searched for this omakase, and it was like amazing. You know, like but I tried to go as much places as possible.
And what are your favorite places in Miami, for example?
Well, we were talking about Gigi's. Rest in peace.
We missed it.
It was good. It was good. Yeah. Of course, La Natural with Javier. It's always
pizza.
nice pizza. Some local stuff like La Camaronera. It's nice to have here. Lungjai Thai tapas.
I love that place.
The crunchy noodles there are amazing. My favorite probably lunch that I used to do here was Edge. On lunch, lunchtime is amazing there.
With Aaron Brooks, no?
One of the cheapest eats and secrets kept in Miami. You know, like insane, really good meal. And yeah, I was eating house. I used to go with Javier. So many places, man. But I always tried, and I always call you or Javier, like where I go.
And do you think maybe going now into not that we were not talking about serious matters like food, but going back to your work, that because and I didn't know this, or I don't know this necessarily, but I mean there are DJs that they don't make their own music, they remix, and DJs that produce their own music. How's your process, and does food influence somehow your creative process, your hunger for tasting new things, savoring new flavors? Would that impact your creative process in the music world?
Yeah, for sure. Like nowadays, like to become a DJ, like in the main circuit of DJs, without making music is quite impossible. Like few of the people that still have records and everything that made it more as a DJ than a producer is like Carl Cox and some other big DJ names that are not big because of producing, but because of DJing. It's not anymore real. Like nowadays, it's like, well, it became like first you become a producer and you have nice hearing audience. That is what opens you fields in. Okay, you have listeners in some place and they take you there because of a booking request.
Okay.
Now it's social media also involved, so the game every time changes. Like, and we're talking about if I get inspired about with the food, and I think like one of my things that take me out of frustration is going out to eat.
Okay.
So when I'm like saturated after a day in the studio, like, okay, I don't want to cook, I want to go out, I want to have a nice meal, I want to have a nice wine. And it's like, it's connected, like also like a good experience. I think it's especially before a DJ set is having a nice meal.
Okay.
I think one of the top plus that a promoter can give to a DJ or to an entertainer is like have a nice hotel, have nice food, and you know that It's not being like diva or being like that, but that adds up to your experience, you know?
No, and again, even though, I mean, there are some works or jobs that require traveling. I mean, you're already out of home, you're traveling. I guess you're super tired of airports and airplanes.
Exactly.
I mean, if you're in a city, you want to have a nice meal, you want to sleep in a nice bed. I mean,
It's part of the job.
yeah, absolutely. And since you're on the road, you might as well enjoy a local restaurant,
Exactly.
Local flavors, meet local chefs.
I think it enhances the experience. Like, I think that's probably like being halfway of you're being happy for making a nice presentation, because full belly, you're happy, you know? Like, so.
Okay. And do you have, like, I don't know, you mentioned your friend with Dub Fire,
Yeah.
which I've seen him. He goes to, like, to the best restaurants. He's always, like, with Virgilio in Lima.
It's good friend of all the chefs.
Yeah. And do you have, like, a secret, I don't know, group, like, oh, I recommend you to work with this promoter because he always takes you to the nice places?
No, we don't.
Don't go to this one because you end up eating, like, I don't know, room service.
Yeah, no. But we have like every time like one of us probably discover a new restaurant or either add it at the
In the
to our map, or we send like I went to this amazing barbecue in Austin called Astro, I think it was.
Like the studio.
No, yeah, or I don't remember how it was the name, but it was like it's a famous chef. People's gonna smack me with this, but it was one of the best, and it's not the famous ones from in downtown. You have to drive like 20 minutes
Franklin
away.
or
Yeah, I went to
La Barbecue.
La Barbecue. I went to La Barbecue. But this one was that day. Questlove was sitting there.
Wow.
So
And we have Questlove's book behind you.
nice. So yeah, coincidence. So it's this guy Bates. I don't remember his name,
They're gonna kill me too because I don't remember either.
but it's asteroid. I'm gonna search.
Okay, perfect. And speaking of Questlove, that's another example of somebody who has mixed the love of food and the love of music, and he has a whole book on creativity and connecting his passions, no?
Yeah.
And I remember a very old episode from Anthony Bourdain.
Mm-hmm.
He came to Miami and he brought Questlove along to show him the city because Questlove was coming a lot, I guess, to play and everything. And he's amazing. Speaking of Questlove and food, one of the best, with all respect, I think the best DJ set that I've ever enjoyed, and I'm not like a big club guy or DJ. During the closing party of the 50 Best Awards in New York, that was like, I think 2018, 2017, they closed 11 Madison Park, which those of you who know, it's super high-end restaurant, very elegant. They transformed 11 Madison Park into a club. They took out all the tables. Questlove was doing an amazing set. A lot of champagne. We had David Chang was in the kitchen doing fried chicken sandwiches. That was like an epic party. And again, music was part of it, no?
Nice.
And I guess for Questlove, because I've seen Daniel Hum and Will Guidara, they've been to the Jimmy Fallon's show, so I'm sure they're good friends, and they're all connected. But yeah, that was a good memory that just came to
your mind.
To mind. So you were talking about your favorite places in Miami, and we discussed also how that creative process is. Do you see any? I mean, you've met a lot of chefs during those restaurant visits. Do you see any parallel from your creative process as a musician and that creative process of a chef, or how some musicians are, maybe, I don't know, you produce X amount of music a year and there's one song that made it
like a hit.
A hit, but maybe you didn't expect that song to be a hit.
For sure.
And same with restaurants, like they create a dish and that dish becomes like super viral on social media and then they cannot take it out of the menu.
Exactly.
Do you see any similarities between the creative process of a chef and the musician? How those processes, because at the end both are for me art forms, no?
For sure. Yeah, totally connected. It's like even if a set like playing live, you're as a DJ and as a and as a chef, you're playing for an audience, you know. So a menu and a DJ set it has to be something that tells a story for me.
Okay,
and
interesting.
making music as the way I see it, and the DJs that I think that are my reference, is like you have to entertain. You have to make a story on what you're playing. You cannot like play random tracks and just put out whatever. It's like same with food. You cannot put random ingredients and just because it's a nice ingredient, like throw caviar and throw truffle and whatever, and it's amazing. No, you have to make sense on what you're doing and have a journey and have an order. Even for food, you cannot. When it's well done, I think it's like same thing. So yeah, that's why I think we're connected in a way. And like many DJs have friends chef, and chefs listen to DJs or to musicians. Like and yeah, like I think another foodie that's a really good friend of the Fire is the guy from Interpol. He's big foodie.
Oh really?
Yeah. And there's many people, and I think anyway, when you see this Rolling Stones touring or whatever, the first things they book is what's the best in town, I think it's part of the connection. Like in a way you start interacting with the chefs or the music, and you see you're connected by the passion for food and the passion for music, and there's a good like synergy in between those two worlds.
So how long does a normal DJ set last? Like from the ones that you play? And I know there's DJs that play like 10 hours.
Yeah.
But like
a regular set could be like 2 hours.
Okay, which is probably what a tasting menu could last. So
exactly.
You were talking about, and this is very interesting, how a chef can tell a story through a tasting menu, and how you can tell a story through a set. Like how do you walk through your audience, dancers, clubbers?
Yeah.
How do you walk them through that set? Like, is there a journey, and it's a story that you're telling? How do you build that journey, and how does that compare to a tasting menu you've done at one of those nice restaurants that offer tasting menus?
Yeah, I think it's also like it's like same for a chef that has a restaurant in Miami or in some place, or I don't know, in Asia, that they have more spicy thing. They have to adapt it for a softer palate for other places. Same with DJs, like depending on where you play, it's not the same experience, because first you have someone that, when you're a headliner, you have someone that's doing the warm-up, and it can be great or not. So that's also like either you have to start from scratch and like develop into something, or you can follow what's done, and like people not because in 2 hours, the idea is to not get people tired in just like the first 3 songs and be hyped. Like it would be like giving the main dish right away.
Exactly.
You know, so you have to give them like tasting. You go up, you go down. You make them like pass through all these phases, and it also depends on what you're playing. Like if you're playing like a big festival that I play, like Coachella or Ultra or stuff like that, your sets are shorter. So let's say it's like doing a shorter menu. You do like entry, main plate, and dessert. But if you have a longer set, you go like with more calm, and you can like expose a bit more of
build all the audience. And what about improvisation? Like, do you arrive to a gig, to play at a place, and maybe you have a plan. Let's say, okay, I'm gonna do this during the next 2 hours, and you see after 45 minutes, I don't know, like the audience is dead, it's not working, they're in different mood. How do you improvise, or how do you change gears to respond to that?
As we're talking about food, I'm gonna compare it also like to the culinary world. It's like you have some ingredients that you take with you. It's like you're not gonna improvise on the menu. Like if you have tuna, whatever, or this produce, you're not gonna serve the opposite that you don't have in your stock.
Exactly.
So the same for me. Like I prepare some things that I know that I'm gonna work with, like my music that is coming, some classics that I could put out, and have like this in my playlist. But it always goes on testing on the people. So it's a bit not improvised. You have like it's a bit between you have like some previous research that you have to do. But you can also play it on the slide. Like if you see the crowd is like not responding to some stuff, you have to turn around, or you can play the card like, okay, you're gonna get into my mood or into my world in a couple of songs more. So it's tricky. It's
Okay.
like,
And are there any specific audiences? And by audience, I say probably cities or countries where they are like crazier than other, and you need to go all the way.
Yeah, 100%.
Which cities or countries
but
are?
I'm gonna say like it's not that going all the way, but it's like you have to be really prepared. It's like getting to impress like someone that's sitting at a nice restaurant. You have to give it your best,
Okay.
and not because it's going that night. It's because you have to be at your best always. So countries like that are Brazil, Argentina are like really, really like they have a top level of criticism
Okay.
in a good way. So you have to give your best. Also, the crowd gives.
Is it like cooking for the press or for judges?
Exactly,
So-
but the people there is like really euphoric and really like they know what you're doing. They know if you're not mixing well, if something wrong's happened, but they're also willing to give you their best and stay the whole night for a different proposal
Okay.
you're bringing.
So it's an educated audience.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's like when a chef is cooking for somebody who has traveled, who had some meals in.
Exactly.
And
And you're not going for the same menu that he's going for the seasonal menu.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Interesting. Tell me a little bit more now about what you're doing, and I'm still thinking when you said a while ago that you travel almost every weekend. What are you up to these days? You mentioned that you have a record label. You're working more on like production. Maybe you're producing other artists, and also as we age, I guess also at some point you just want to chill at home on a given weekend, and now you have to catch a flight to go to Dusseldorf or Moscow to play whatever. What are you doing now in terms of work that is probably making you spend more time in Barcelona or doing the things that maybe you don't want to travel any given weekend, no?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna be a father this year.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah. It's
Amazing.
in September.
Congratulations.
Thank
First
you.
one.
Yeah, first one.
Nice.
And only one. We're only having one. But it's like it's a change in my life. I've been doing this over half of my life. I'm 38 now, so I've been doing like since I told you like 14 years old. And it's like it's also like a knife with double how you say it, like double-edged sword. Yeah,
sword.
exactly. Because it's like when you're at home, you're craving to travel, and when you're traveling, you're craving home. So it's like I'm really like a moving person, so I really enjoy touring and music. And even though you're tired and getting into planes, it has like a lot of good things that happen to you, like knowing other cultures, knowing people, getting to eat out, getting like that. So that's really like the price of it. And yeah, like you were saying, like during the week I try to have like a normal routine. Like people said, you're a D. Yeah, I'm not partying every day. You know, this is like an office job. Like it's hard. And then during my week is like I try to have a routine. I cook at home. I go to the gym. I have to produce music. So producing is also like I heard this thing. It's like inspiration is not gonna come to you. Inspiration is something that you have to practice. And the day that you least expect it, you're connected with something out there, and you do like an amazing piece of the creative process. So I do that. I do my label. So I sign new artists and other artists that are established and curate that, the artwork, everything. Well, the artwork is done by another Venezuelan he's in Australia, Aurial.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a nice guy. And yeah, it's a part of everything. And I try to keep my balanced life, wife. Now I'm having a kid, so trying to balance it all out.
Interesting. I can't imagine how much your wife will hate you. Like when your baby is like month and a half old, and you'll be like, "Up,
I need
gotta
to
go have a gig in Paris. See you in 2 days."
But I have to say, she's really supportive. She's the first that tells me like, man, go do your thing. That's also like important to be in this world. And I think as a chef too, because being a chef is really sacrificing the hours you have to be in the kitchen.
Yeah, like in terms of you're talking about social life. For chefs and restaurant owners, restaurant operators, GMs, you name it, even like front of the house mixologists, when people are going out and enjoying, you're basically working, no?
My weekend is your weekday.
Yeah, exactly. I can't imagine like how many weddings you've missed of friends, how many birthdays, maybe your friends who live in Barcelona who are not DJs. Saturday night is their night out, and you're basically
leaving.
out of town.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a big sacrifice.
Yeah, it's the opposite way around, and it's like what you were talking about weddings. We did one of my best friend's wedding right now, and we met up, and this is the first wedding I've gone in since I lived in Barcelona, like 12 years.
Wow.
And I missed all my friends' wedding because I was traveling, and you sacrifice a lot of stuff, but it pays off in another way. But yeah, for this you have like if you are in a relationship, you have to be with the right person. I think same for a chef or someone that's involved in these jobs that takes you a lot, or even like an entrepreneur or someone that travels a lot. You need to be someone that supports you and understands you and don't want to change, you know. So that's really important for me as a base to have like mental peace. And but yeah, it takes a lot of sacrifice. I've lived many times. Oh no, we're going to a concert. It was like every time my friends send me a concert, like, let me see. Oh no, I'm not here. Oh, I'm not here. Like so.
You're like, oh, this was on Tuesday.
Yeah,
Amazing.
exactly. And that took a lot because I graduated with my wife at the same university. Mm-hmm. I'm also like a journalist by degree in Santa Maria University in Venezuela. But actually, I ended up being a DJ. And I started at the Metropolitana studying administration. But I didn't like it at all. So went more for the creative part. Didn't see it as a plan B, more like for my parents or the title or whatever, you know. Also, just in case, I learned a lot. It opens your mind anyway. But the thing is like my wife like getting to understand that sometimes I arrive a Sunday at home or when we travel together, because I try to travel a lot with her. The thing is like my Monday, I want to go out like a weekend, and like I don't care that she it was hard for her to understand. Okay, we can go out on Wednesday night. That's my free day, you know. Like, but now like we're used to that, and that's a good thing. We complement each other, and like we're like super into going out by two of us, just going out for dining or just experience. And when we have friends also, and yeah, it's good.
And you mentioned that you enjoy cooking too, no?
I enjoy cooking. Yeah.
How did you get into cooking? Do you like? What's your favorite, your go-to dish that you prepare at home?
I'm a pasta guy. I love Italian food, and I think I'm quite good doing it.
Oh, right.
Set by Italian friends and chefs. And I think it's like I try to respect the produce. I try to follow I don't twist and turns, and try to do my recipes by the book and with the real ingredients. Like my carbonara is pretty amazing. Oh. So I use guanciale.
I'm making a note here.
Pecorino, like proper way. And yeah, I try to always like see and learn from other friends, from other chefs, from experiences. I go outside and try to replicate it when I go home. And yeah, I think also like we share passion with some other friends that cook, and we share like during the pandemic, Dubfire and I, we started hanging out a lot, and
you were not supposed to hang out.
Yeah, exactly. But well, we did. Our hobby was to do pizza.
Okay.
So we managed to do like sourdough pizza, and like he does a nice sourdough bread, I do a nice sourdough pizza.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, and then like cooking, and we had a friend that was a chef and he cooked, and yeah, like nice stuff. And yeah, that's my go-to. My go-to is like Italian food,
And that's where we're talking about before, like when you go to a place, you search certain restaurant. Is also pasta your go-to food when you go to a restaurant, or not necessarily?
sorry, can you repeat that?
No, yeah. We were talking about before, like how you search for
Yeah, for
certain
restaurant,
restaurants
yeah.
when you're in a tour,
tour.
or touring. Do you also search for pasta restaurants? So that's something that you like to cook, but not necessarily.
No, yeah, I
go
search
to a
like
restaurant.
for example, like I told you, Cotonia is one of it's insane. It was like ravioli or they do, and they do this famous tortellini with the egg. It's like insane. Yeah, I try to go. Of course, in Italy has no compare, but there's like plenty of stuff. Like I like to try a lot of pizzas around the world. That's really good. And you try like yeah, I try to, but I try to keep it open. I'm
Okay.
not that guy that goes to Lebanon. I'm gonna ask, oh, can I get a room service of pizza? No, take me out to the
Of
most
course.
traditional place. I want to try everything. Like
And pizza is something that you can probably write a book about pizzas from all over the world.
Yeah.
Do you remember any specific pizza or pizzas that you've tried? And I'm sure some of them are outside of Italy that you loved.
Australia,
Really?
really, really good pizza. US, I think, has a proper game in pizza
Yeah.
now. It's like I went to one in Austin. Super nice. I don't remember the name, but it was really good. Here in Miami, you have nice pizza. Like New York, I went to Scars this day, but I went to all the New York style, like L'Industrie,
I love L'Industrie, yeah.
Funzi's. Yeah,
And have you been to Japan?
I've been
lately?
to Japan.
I had some of the best pizzas I've had lately.
I've seen, yeah.
In Tokyo and in Kyoto.
Nice.
It's insane. Like
Savoy?
Savoy is one
Yeah.
of them. Pizza Studio Tamaki in Tokyo,
Yeah.
and Monk in Kyoto. The guy who was in Chef's Table.
Nice.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And we were talking about those changes in life. You're having a kid. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And thinking of slowing, maybe, I don't know if you plan to slow down. I'm 51 and haven't even started to think to slow down. Do you see yourself, from all the experiences that you have gained, like venturing into the food business? I don't know, as a restaurant owner, you mentioned that your pastas are great, like opening a pasta restaurant.
Yeah.
How do you see yourself, from all that you've learned from music production, you're providing an experience to the audience? And we were talking before how a tasting menu compares to a DJ set. Do you see yourself providing those experiences in a different world, like the food world?
No, I'm gonna die a raver. No, not really. No. Yeah, I think at some point probably I would like to slow down, but yeah, it's many years. Like most of the like legend DJs are over 50 right now.
Okay.
So Javier is one of the biggest fans of Sasha and Dewitt, and we went to eat to Uchi here one of the times, and like I called Javier the food advisor. So yeah, it's like. I don't know. I have like, I wish that I can be in the career of the music for many years more, especially DJing, because DJing is studio is like the creative part where you have to, takes a lot from you thinking, like, it has some comfort in you when you do a nice things, but it takes out of you, like the creative part it takes out a lot of time. But the most enjoyable part is when you travel and test these tracks and you see the tracks working out and everything. So I enjoy like going on tour and all the things that go aside that. And yes, I always thought about having my own restaurant.
Interesting.
I would love to do that. I don't know now or some years, but yeah, I could do like a small trattoria,
Nice.
like some nice wines. Some nice coffee.
You mean
And-
you say slow down, but that's like slow down from the music world, but then be fully
Be crazy in the-
exactly crazy busy
No,
running
but
a restaurant.
I've seen also like I know the food industry is quite hard, and yeah, it takes hours of working and a lot of passion and time
And no
to
social life either.
and no social
so
life.
you're-
But I seen it more like I don't know, probably supervising rather than be in the kitchen. You know, like
Yeah. But
probably
that-
giving the ideas and having the thing and like being more of managing
uh-huh.
rather than being in the kitchen. 'Cause
Okay.
I know it's not for me.
Being the record label owner or the producer,
Exactly.
but not the DJ
Yeah,
or the
like
musician.
serve me my recipe. It's really good.
Perfect. And we're talking earlier, we're both from Venezuela. I'm from Maracaibo, you're from Caracas. But you've been away for 12 years,
Yeah.
did you say? How's your relationship with Venezuelan
14.
food? 14 years.
Yeah, no, 12,
12
sorry.
years. And I know there's some, I've tried some arepa places in Barcelona, and there's a big Venezuelan community. How's your relationship with Venezuelan food? Do you crave it? Do you cook it?
I crave it for
yeah?
sure. I cook it. I do amazing carne mechada. Props to me. No, it's really good.
Making
It's really
those here,
good.
carne
Yeah,
mechada,
I have to make you
pasta.
my menu. But man, honestly, one of the best empanadas in the world
Uh-huh.
are in Barcelona.
Really?
In the world. Like,
In which area?
it's called La Poderosa.
In
In
where are they located?
Gran Via. Do you know
Okay.
Bar Alegría? It's like a famous bar, but
Okay.
in front of that, these girls are from Valencia.
Wow.
And Valencia, Caracas.
Okay.
Valencia, Caracas, Valencia, Venezuela. And that's like, it's like really crispy thin, and the filling is like next level. They do also pastelitos andinos.
Wow.
Next level, like queso con papa and carne con arroz. Man, next level. And it's one of my favorites. There's like some cachapa places that's really nice. There's plenty of Venezuelan food when you're craving it right now.
It's interesting because we were talking the other day with another guest about how Venezuelan food, we were talking about tequeños, cachitos, arepas, how because of political, economical reasons and because of the big diaspora of Venezuelans, now it's more common to see, like maybe the best cachito is not in Caracas, it's in Miami, or
Exactly.
maybe the best arepa is not in Valencia, it's in Barcelona or
Yeah.
Madrid, which is sad. And I mean, it's great because we are getting the Venezuelan food all over the world,
Yeah.
but also because there's access to better ingredients outside of Venezuela, or a lot of talent had left the country.
yeah.
Now you have great chefs doing amazing things in Peru, in Hong Kong, here in Miami, in New York. Does it happen the same with music? Or I bet there's amazing, super talented musicians from different genres.
For sure.
Outside of Venezuela doing amazing things.
Yeah, there's so many people, and at the same time, well, I think one of the biggest artists out there is Arca. She's like an amazing producer. She has done like so many music with Kanye West, Bjork, and
Insane.
some people don't know that things. There's so many people like behind projects and behind names of productions that people don't realize. And I think it happens in many things, like in art, in music, in film, in so many careers. And I think in a good way, like I think in Venezuela we're in a way we're pretty solid exporting like Latin heritage right now.
Yeah.
And like the Latin brand is like seen as something super positive right now. And we're around the world right now. It's like
Absolutely.
we're everywhere, in every field, in every thing that you can, like in music, in chefs, in production, in painting, and it's something to be proud. And I think that's also created in a way a retroactive feedback to Venezuela. And I've seen a lot of cool projects in, like, for example, talking about social media and food. The guys of Cantina, Dog, Pastichos Morandi
Okay.
in Venezuela, like their social management team, with the creative storytelling they have, plus the aesthetics of the restaurant. I see like a really interesting thing that you wouldn't think of Venezuela having those kind of places some years before. Or like I went, what was this place? Well, the pizza place in Los Palos Grandes, the new one.
Oh, you got me there. I haven't been there in a year and a half. I wanna go back. But yeah, I've seen amazing things going on.
David Rondon, I think he's partner in a bit with Dos Puntos.
Dos Puntos, yeah.
Also. So these things like sound bars and stuff, like even we're going through tough times and it's not the ideal situation in Venezuela. I think we've kind of like the Phoenix, like even if it sounds cheesy or whatever, but it's like nice to see like all these projects emerging and you see things that you didn't expect. I went and I had like amazing coffee in Venezuela now. Super good.
No, there's a lot of entrepreneurship. Well, I always crave good breakfast at Casa Bistro.
Yeah.
But yeah, many people doing amazing, interesting things. That's great. And also, I guess it's an inspiration from everybody who had left the country, and some are going back and like implementing what they learned.
Exactly. And even social media, it's really criticized, or it's like on the verge of if it's good or bad sometimes. I think this, in a good way, people don't need to travel to get influenced by things they see outside. And even if it's replicating, or people say, no, you're copying this that you saw in Miami or this that you saw there, in a good way, some people are doing it their own way, and they're creating something new. And in the end, as I say, with creativity, everything is done in this world. With the music, there's some notes that you can play the same notes, but some people play in a way, some are use synthesizers, some other record a sound that's weird. Same with the ingredients. It's the same ingredients. It's different way of combining it or thinking it around, or mistakes that become into an amazing dish. So now having that, like, people getting influenced or again tell that they're copying things from abroad, but they're doing it their own way, is it magnificent?
Yeah, absolutely. And does it happen the same in music? Because in food, thanks to social media, like the moment or the time that passed since something was created until it became a trend. Before it could be like years, and now it's literally months or weeks. Like I don't know, like a famous chef creates X dish or preparation. Everybody sees it. Everybody starts making their own version.
Well, Spheres with Ferradria with the spherification.
Exactly.
That comes from Albulli, but now in modern cuisine, everything is done with alginato or with.
Does it happen the same in music? Like I don't know, like a specific type of rhythm or music that somebody's playing got very popular and everybody starts emulating it.
Of course, and I think, but I think like music, the genres per se are already done, and there's always like a new genre, but rebranded with a newer name, but that has the influence of things like, for example, let's say my style is melodic house and techno, but that has a little bit of influence of progressive elements of techno, of house, of trancey vibes. So now it's rebranded as melodic house and techno. There's a genre that's really famous right now. It's called Afro House, but that comes from tribal or Latin vocals and stuff. And it's not new. It's someone that had the idea to use something and refresh it out, take it out and adapt it to a new thing. And I think that happens with everything. Like now in film or in social media, now everything is cinematic or with some colors. Or if you saw the streaming platforms, they're using the same filter or coloring of things. So in the end, it's like there's someone that goes a little bit further and puts it outside and people replicate. And
so I'm out of the trends. I've been using the same Ludwig filter on my Instagram pictures since like Instagram was invented.
You're gonna put it hot again,
Exactly. So Sergio, thanks a lot for the time. I know you're visiting Miami. You're spending some time with your parents. but we might. Gilles is playing tonight at Dante's, and Wolf of Tacos is serving some amazing tacos.
Have to
So
try
that could be maybe something new to try in Miami.
For sure.
This guy is doing amazing things. So might see you there later. And I don't know if you wanna like have a final thought or comment or just like a goodbye
For sure.
message.
Well, first of all, want to thank you for this podcast. Really interesting, this whole conversation, because first of all, it's a passion, and I think we all connect through this. And it was super fun being here and being part of this series. So thank you, man.
No, thanks for coming. Thank you for listening to us. We'll be having this type of conversations with other friends, chefs, restaurant owners, but also musicians, I don't know, writers, sports people, actors, who knows.
Yeah.
But at the end, I think everybody loves to eat. Everybody has amazing stories around the table with friends, with family. And that's what One of Each is about. It's about sharing those stories and going back to those memories. So
True.
thanks for coming.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.